I'm gonna make Whitehouse and Thatcher roll in their graves. Watch. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all named after 4 famous artists, but which one is most like their Renaissance counterpart? Let's start with the Turtles because let's be real, watch time is important. You know them, I know them. Leo is the mature leader and eldest, Raph is the hothead and most temperamental, Donnie is the brains and genius inventor, Mikey is the life of the party and class clown. Obviously, a bit oversimplified, Leo is very well disciplined and as the eldest, has responsibilities placed on him. Raph is only a hothead because he cares so much. Donnie is constantly under pressure, being the tactician and smart one, but holds it together, and Mikey is the wisecracker that acts as the emotional glue for the brothers. Leo is the mind, Donnie is the brain, Raph is the heart, Mikey is the soul. 4 weapons to match with their personalities. Katanas being prevalent with samurai and the bushido, Sais being more stabby aggressive weaponry, the bow staff being more of a defensive weapon, and nunchucks just being a showy weapon. I can't forget their 4 individual vehicles also, that match with each character. The skateboard, roller skate, bike, and scooter. Can't forget the motorcycle from Raph though, he does a Canada slide. Like, what kind of sauce were Eastman, Goldfine, and Laird cooking in 2003? Cause I want some of that sauce. As a kid, my favourite was Leo because, oh my god, I love the colour blue and katanas are so cool. Dumbass kid. Right, let's talk artists. One misconception right away is that Donatello was way earlier than the others, about a century before Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. I feel there's less known about Donatello because he was real early, but he was a master of all the elements. Bronze, stone, wood, clay, wax, marble. This guy did it all. If this guy had the same PR as Leonardo, it would have been game over. He's an Assassin's Creed for crying out loud. Who is this guy's agent? He's dead. Madonna of the Clouds was mind-blowing. David was crazy for the time. And Mary Magdalene? Need I say any more? He was an innovator, no question. The first artist to ever incorporate perspective in sculpture. Also, big up Don, he was a chill dude who happened to be the Francesco Totti of Florence. St. George being the creation that best represented the Republican state's stature in relation to the rest of Italy. Don't be comparing man to these dabbing ass patriots, B. Tell your guy come get his patron saint. This is the old version again, this ain't a new play. Let's just get him out the way. Leonardo. This guy was a maniac. He treated art as science, he loved to learn, studying nature, physics, gravity, water, dissecting bodies, depicting body parts, organs, and describing heart disease for the first time ever. Of course, he drew the most famous piece of art of all time, the Mona Lisa, which was like a culmination of a lifetime of painting and studying. He created depth and mathematical geometry with Jesus in the Last Supper. The best drawings he did though were the ones he made to explain machines and mechanics, writing backwards in his notes so he didn't smudge the page. This guy was insane. Like, maybe his PR was warranted, I guess. My favourite of his is Lady with an Ermine. What an incredible piece of art. The greatest portrait I've ever seen. You lot are glazing the wrong piece of art. The Mona Lisa is the biggest industry plant in the world. Describing Raphael quickly, he's like the greatest art wonder kid of all time. And he knew it. The guy painted himself in the school of Athens for crying out loud. Which is unequivocally his piece de resistance. Probably followed by Pope Julius II, which was just a really good looking piece de propaganda. He was a master with his colour palette, but a freak with his massive mallet. He bowed till he croaked for real. Finally, there's Michelangelo, and boy, this guy, he's a psycho. This guy was risking death by opposing the Pope, breaking his body, having to read things with his neck crickled, and getting eye diseases. He was a recluse, and ended up being a real grumpy old man. I mean, I would be too if I had Raphael meet riding the Pope a few doors down. Master of anatomy and human proportions. The best sculptor the world has ever seen. His Last Judgment painting on the Sistine Chapel wall was a grand old piece which he made after the Protestant Reformation. His David, like Donatello's St. George before it, being a great metaphor for Florence being the David to a violent Italy's Goliath. Despite Leonardo's efforts to keep it hidden. Yes, even they had been. His Pieta? Bro, how does one even do that? At the age of 23, one piece of marble? Created that? The ceiling of the Sistine Chapel is an absolute bona fide masterpiece. He made it despite the fact he hated painting the The work was at hypothetical gunpoint and it was full of mould when Michelangelo first started to paint it. If we're being serious, Michelangelo could paint the Mona Lisa, but Leonardo could never, ever paint the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Not only was there a moment where Leonardo, Michelangelo and Raphael all were living amongst us, but there was a time where all three were in Florence at the exact same time. Like, you just can't comprehend how wild that is. And now we have grifters grifting AI art. That being said, in my opinion, which is fact, I would say Leonardo is most like Donatello, Raphael is most like Michelangelo, Donatello is most like Leonardo, and Michelangelo is most like Raphael. So by default, it seems like the turtle that is most like their Renaissance artist is Donatello? Yeah, that seems about right, I guess. So in conclusion, Donatello is the best Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo is the best artist, Pieta by Michelangelo is the best piece of art ever created, the artist destroyed the turtles in their epic rap battle, and Donatello is the most like his Renaissance artist.
Donatello, you are the turtle! Did I mention that you're my favorite turtle?